and welcome to the Makers with Heart Mystery Envelope Challenge. I think this is my favorite day of the month when everybody launches and shows what they did with the mystery envelopes that they were sent. So this month, Kim sent us a packet of little small pieces and these Post-it notes. And what she said was basically that she included raspberry and wild berry gems, and we've joked that she's allergic to pink, and that there was a hint of blue for Amanda, but there isn't her favorite color, purple. And so her guidelines that she chose were to create at least one paper piecing, Cricut image, masking, stamping, fussy cutting item. And then we can add white or black cardstock. Any Close to My Heart stamps, inks, thin cut stencils are all available. If we use all of the gems she sent, that we can add one other color of gem or sequins, but no other embellishment. And that mixed media is encouraged, but not necessary if you use ink stencil technique. So as you can see here, I cut out a whole bunch of flower shapes on the Cricut, and then with the yellow sheet of little paper that Kim sent, I did 12 centers for daisies because those can do out of white. And then out of one of the sheets that she sent, I cut the tag and the word grateful tag as well. So this is what I've done so far. I've cut the Cricut, I have this grid sheet, and the grid came from, and actually this whole, all the different flowers except for the daisies came from the Love Everyday Cricut collection that Close to My Heart currently has available. I will put a link for it down below because sometimes it's not always easy to find those. So here with my daisy pieces, those are a punch that I used. I didn't cut them on the Cricut. I have two sizes, but I take both pieces, and as you saw with my piercing tool, I pinch each of the petals around that piercing tool, and then offset the two layers. And then for the center, I take the yellow, and it was actually canary cardstock. I had to match the color, and I just take my styling tool, and on this foam, if you don't have the old foam that Close to My Heart sold, you can use the doubled up craft foam, or even some old mouse pads work really well. But so I just do around the outside edge, and then I put a piece of foam tape in the center of that so it just pops off nicely in my daisies. I love making daisies. If you're new to my channel, you don't know this. If you've watched my channel, you might be sick of my daisies, but I just really like my daisies. So with the rest of these white pieces of cardstock, because that's all I was allowed to add to this set, I did a brush technique to add some ink from the ink pads. This is sage, so I do the leaves out of that. And then for many of the others, I actually use shimmer brushes to color them, because the shimmer brush is going to give a more saturated and vibrant color. And I kind of wanted to balance the softness of the Tutti Frutti papers that she sent, kind of that vibe, along with the vibrant of the raspberry cardstock that she sent. And then the photos that I'm using, which I don't think I've shown you yet, I apologize for that, are from when we had a craft day back when we were in Michigan. We always met once a month at the church and just crafted all day, and then I did a project at night for everybody. But this one particular time frame, we were making cards for the church because they let us meet there for free. So in exchange, we made sure that they had all the cards that they needed to send out for shut-ins or sympathy or get well, just kind of that outreach that they had with their card program. So then these are the photos there. So then as you can see what's on my little mat underneath, this is the grid, and I was showing you that cut out. I have cut the popsicle side out of that Tutti Frutti paper scrap that Kim sent us. So I cut 6 of the yellow popsicles and 6 of the purple. And then again, I'm taking my embossing stylus, and on that thick foam mat, I'm kind of just curving them to make them look more petal-like. And then I took one of the center squares from that grid pattern that I'm going to use as my background and colored with my shimmer brush the lagoon circle there. And so now I'm just going to add some adhesive runner to that so that I can glue all of the petals down. And I'm trying to make a flower out of the popsicles. And this is more of a Twisted Sister move, but it was kind of a nod to Kim, because if you've watched any of her Twisted Sister videos or watched her channel at all, her mind is incredible. She can take the most unique stamp or innocuous stamp and make it into something that I never would have thought of in a million years. She just has that mind that sees other shapes in it. I think she would be fun to lay on grass and watch the clouds, because after she points out what it's there, well, it was obviously, designed for that all along, but until she does it, I don't see it. So I am making a flower out of popsicles for you, Kim. My passion and your talent. I love my shaped flowers. So what I'm doing is I did put a little puddle of glue onto the mat so that I could take the sticks from the popsicles cutouts and glue them down to the center, so that the yellow ones are kind of inset of the purple ones that are further out. And then I needed to cut the last popsicle stick off because it didn't allow me to put the lagoon. I used my Crop-A-Dile and just punched a circle out of the lagoon cardstock that Kim sent us, and that's going to be the center of this flower. And I'm trying to balance the colors that are in the cards from the crop day and the colors that Kim sent us, but also make it all about me. Make it a layout that goes into my album. I don't mean about me that way, but I do want to point out that I added some purple. I used my grape shimmer brush to get Kim in this layout as well. So then I tried the lattice over a black layout, a black piece of cardstock, and it wasn't going to work for me. So I pulled out my multi-purpose mat and then the Dina Weekly sprays in Lime and Ocean, and this is kind of going to be my background behind the lattice work. And I do end up cutting a 1/2 inch off of the sprayed white daisy piece so that I could mat it on the black. So there you can see it. I have the black cardstock, the sprayed cardstock, and then the white lattice that I cut from the Love Everyday Cricut collection. So now, again, I'm not feeling that light brown, the tan. I'm not sure if that's an almond cardstock. I didn't match the color for that. So I grabbed my Lagoon shimmer brush, and you can see how vibrant the shimmer brush is. And I'm going for kind of a ombre effect. It's not truly ombre, but I'm going to leave the top of this medallion lighter lagoon, and the bottom I'm doing multiple layers, and it's going to be darker, so it's a kind of a two-tone title for me here. And that's one of the things that I like about both alcohol markers and the shimmer brushes, is that you can kind of layer multiple times the color on it and you will get deeper, richer tones. So now this gets mounted on the white circle that also got cut at the time that I cut these out. And I'm just gonna kind of dry fit and audition where I want the different flowers. And I thought that I would make kind of a vertical line going down the left-hand side and balance that against just one cluster of flowers in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm making sure that I have the raspberry color and then the grape from the shimmer brush. I'm making sure that I have a balance of colors between the two, I guess, focal images. And then I put my homemade popsicle flower there on the title, and I'll end up moving that. It was standing out there by itself, and since it was the only flower like that, it needed to be, I think, blended in with the other flowers so that it wasn't so obvious of it's, one of these things is not like the other. So now I'm just putting on some daisies, and I have two sizes. I made 8 of the smaller ones and then 4 of the larger size. And I love this little spray of kind of leafy, of grass looking. And then the center of the leaves, the bigger leaves, that's what I'm putting on now. Those I shimmer brushed with gold. And I think in hindsight, I might next time color them with a marker in a brown, a light tan, and then do the gold over it. It didn't give as much of a rich color as I wanted. So I'm using the tag for my journaling, and it's, again, to me, sticking out like a sore thumb. It's just one instance of this color on the page, and we need to have balance with that. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to incorporate that, but I know that I need a string or something that represents a string on my tag and on my title, because that also has a circle in it, and I don't want to leave them naked. So to be able to cut this accurately, I added a little bit of adhesive on my cutter and put my 1/2-inch strip that I had cut from the base on the cutter, and then it just makes sure that it lines up perfectly and it's going to cut well. And because it's as wide as it is, I just need to kind of fold it so that the splatter side is up, because the back side is white, and I didn't want to have that on there. So I need to kind of make that bottom end smaller so that it fits through the hole on my tag. So that's what I'm going to do here, is kind of push that through. And I'm just kind of, it's not really tied on, I'm just kind of cheating it through the hole and then flattening it out against the back of the tag. And with it being such a tight fit through the hole, it's not going to come out. So I don't think I need to add glue, and even people pulling it in and out to read what's on the journaling, it'll be fine. So this was what was left over after I did the Cricut cut. So I cut it as wide as I could, and then I'm going to cut some little banners out of it, and I'm going to tuck those in under the flowers. And I think this is something that, again, I learned in doing the mystery envelope challenge. I think when Jessica sent hers, I ended up adding a banner in with a cluster of flowers, and I loved that. So I thought, all right, this is a perfect way to add more of that tan color. I'll do another one over in the left hand side, and it just will give that balance to the layout. So here I cut the strip even narrower so it's a little more pliable, so I'm able to kind of actually wrap that around like I would a normal string. And because I had the glue, the tape runner to glue it down to my cutting so it would cut even, that's what you saw me struggling with there. So now I have the balance of those three, because I'll have the tag with my journaling on it and then the other two banners. I did use mocha ink and just ink the edges of those tags. I actually had intended to ink the edges of everything and completely forgot about it. Life is happening around here kind of quickly. If you haven't followed my channel, we're moving from California to Florida, and the movers come in less than 3 weeks. So here's how you can catch up with me on social media, but be sure to look in the description, and there's a playlist with all the other Makers with Heart Mystery Envelope Challenge, because we launched those all on one day. So go check out what everybody else did with the pieces Kim sent. Blessings.